In this lesson, we're going to look at solving two-step equations. So this time we have more than one thing that we need to do to isolate the x. So here I'm multiplying our unknown, our x, by 3, and then subtracting 8, and that's equal to negative 14. So I have to figure out what number I can multiply by 3 and then subtract 8, and my answer is negative 14. So I'm going to work backwards, and I'm first going to move the 8 over. So we're going to do the reverse of BEDMAS. We're first going to undo any addition and subtraction, and then we're going to undo any multiplication or division. So 3x subtract 8. The opposite of subtracting 8 is adding 8. So I'm going to do that on both sides. So on the left side, I'm left with just 3x. Negative 8 plus 8 is equal to 0. And then negative 14 plus 8 is equal to negative 6. So now I'm done addition and subtraction. I don't have any more of that left, but I have a multiplication. I have 3 times x. So I'm going to undo that by dividing both sides by 3. And that's going to leave me with the x isolated, so just 1x left on the left side, and negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. So x is negative 2 is the solution. Now if I check back, 3 times negative 2 is equal to negative 6, and negative 6 subtract 8 is equal to negative 14. Let's take a look at another question that has division and addition in it. So x divided by 2 plus 3 is equal to 15. So first I have to undo any addition or subtraction. So I have an addition of 3 here. So I'm going to do the opposite of that. So I have x over 2 plus 3. So the opposite of adding 3 is subtracting 3. I'm going to do that on both sides. That's going to leave me with x over 2 equals 12. And then now to isolate x, I have a division by 2. The opposite of that is to multiply by 2 on both sides. Then I'm left with just x on the left side, so I've isolated x, and 12 times 2 is 24. So my solution is x is equal to 24. So if I check back here, 24 divided by 2 is 12, and 12 plus 3 is 15. So that's correct. We're going to look at one more type where I have x's on both sides of the equation as well as numbers. So the first thing I want to do in this situation is I want to get the x's onto one side and then the numbers with no x onto the other side. Now, it doesn't matter which side I put the x's on and which side I put the numbers on. What I generally do is I take a look at the numbers in front of the x. So this is a positive 1x. Remember, if there's no number in front of the x, it's a 1. And if there's no sign, so there's no negative, that means it's a positive. So I have a positive 1x on the left side and negative 2x on the right side. Positive 1 is bigger than negative 2. So that means that I'm going to move my x's to the left side. So I already have 1x. And over here, I'm subtracting 2x. So when I move it to the opposite side, I'm going to be adding 2x. And then on the other side, I had a positive 9. When I write it first, I don't have to write the positive in front of it. And then I had a subtraction of 6 on this side. To move it to the other side, I'm going to add it. I'm going to have plus 6 here. So negative 6 plus 6 on this side becomes 0, and on this side, negative 2x plus 2x becomes 0. So now I have moved those. So each side has either just x's or numbers with no x's. What I'm going to do now is these are called like terms. They are both x's, so I can add them together. So this is like saying I have 1 apple and 2 apples, so in total I have 3. So I have 1x plus 2x, which is equal to 3x And on the other side, I have 9 plus 6, which is equal to 15. So now to isolate x, right now I have 3 times x is 15. So the opposite of multiplying by 3 is to divide by 3. And I'm left with x equals 5. Now if I come back here, 5 subtract 6 is equal to negative 1. And negative 2 times 5 is negative 10, and negative 10 plus 9 is also negative 1. So both sides work out to the same when I substitute in x equals 5. We'll look at one more question like that. So 4x minus 7 equals x plus 5. So I have 4x on this side and 1x on this side. 4x is larger, so I'm going to move the x over to this side. So I have 4x already on this side. This is a positive 1x, which means to move it, I'm going to do the opposite. So adding 1x, the opposite of that is to subtract 1x. On the other side, I already had 5. Over here, I had a subtraction of 7. The opposite of that is to add 7. So now I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have 4x subtract 1x. That leaves me with 3x. And on the other side, I have 5 plus 7, which is 12. So last step to isolate for x, I have 3 times x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And now I'm left with x equals 4 for my solution. I can come back up here and check. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 subtract 7 is equal to 9. And if I plug it in on this side, 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. So both of those sides are 9 when x is equal to 4. So that works out.